What's up, guys? Welcome to another exciting edition of Real Estate Podcast, episode 3. What is it, 53? I'm here with Griffin.
I'm here with Trav.
And we're ignoring all the sounds over the fence with Adam.
Except the gunshots.
Yeah, you can't ignore that.
Did he get sick at the end on the thought that he was having to go back there? Is that why he got sick?
I think so. That's what I thought. Is the reality of it.
Yeah.
He was dry heaving.
Yeah. Well, I thought it might have been that or the ash. You know, because I mean, that can't be good. Well, them fucking all the ash from the incendiary or whatever they're called.
Well, I think it was.
Yeah.
I think it was like a combination of like him going from, because at first I was looking at it like the movie was really fucked up. Like, okay, it's this couple that kind of gets off on the idea that they've got this shit set up by the camp, and because she's like, I don't want to leave. He acts like he likes his job, but then every now and then, as the movie kind of progresses, you get more glimpses into his work life, and he's just as emotionless at work as he is at home.
Yeah.
She did put a lot into that garden too. I don't think she wanted to.
Yeah. Well, I mean, this movie puts you as a viewer in an uncomfortable position.
Oh, for sure.
Was that girl putting apples out there for the workers? Like,
yeah.
Weird filter to use, the photo negative thing.
Yeah.
For nuts.
And like, and how they did that one thing too, where like it did that weird montage of those flowers.
Mm-hmm.
Deidre had pointed that out when we were watching it, like to kind of represent like he was letting his own men get killed. Because like while that was happening, you were hearing all the this movie, like you have to rely on the ambience to get anything out of this movie.
Yeah. It was unsettling the whole time.
Yeah.
And then whenever you see it start kind of weighing in on the family, like, dude, how fucking heartbreaking was it where that kid was rolling those dice?
Mm-hmm.
And then you hear those people outside arguing. It's like they're arguing over the apples, and it's like, well, fucking drown them. And the kid's like, I don't want to roll that again. Or, you know what I mean? Like, it's like, did I roll that to cause that to happen? Like, what the fuck is happening here? Like, hasn't, no idea, like, the extent of what's happening there, because it's a kid,
Well, there was like one scene where like some shit popped off, and he was like, "Don't do that again," and goes back to playing with his toys.
Yeah. So it was very unsettling the whole time.
Well, it was almost like you were just watching this family. There was no.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like there was no plot.
No.
You're just watching these people try to have a normal life, and they're burning,
Yeah.
Like they're literally burning bodies. Yeah.
That made her mom leave, right? When she realized.
Oh yeah, dude.
When she woke up and the flames were coming off that.
Yeah.
The way that they were just sitting around the table casually talking about how many people they could burn a day, and this room cools while this one, warms up, and it's like.
Yeah.
Well, it was like kind of like how, because like the whole parallel with like in that meeting where they're all the heads of all the camps are there.
Oh yeah.
And they're pitching, ramping up production like it's a corporation.
Yeah.
And the scene where like where Adam was saying, where like the guys, it's like almost like a company being like, hey, use our products. Like, hey, look at this incinerator we designed. You can rotate it and keep it going day and night, pretty much. And he's like, all right.
Yeah, it was that to me, that sequence and the sequence with the kid was the two them just having that conversation casually, where it's like, here's the blueprint, and he's like, you better patent it. Like, it's so it's so fucked up to like.
But it's all for the removal of human bodies.
Yes, exactly. And the fact that like if people didn't understand going into this movie what this movie was about.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, going into it and knowing that it's something that has to do with the Holocaust and all that stuff, it kinda, like, prepares you mentally for what you're fixing to get yourself into. But could you imagine being somebody that had no clue what they were getting themselves into and jumping
Oh,
into this and being like, "What the fuck? What?"
well, well, another disturbing thing too that I think added to the effect is that you never saw the camp,
Yeah,
and
right,
Oh,
yeah.
you never see them. Yeah,
like
the way they
you
hit them in
see,
the weeds.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking
yeah,
about when they were walking through there? I was like, wow, they're this is weird. Like,
Yeah.
but they had that paleness to where
but they
it was enough that they had them dressed in such a way that like it matched with the photos you see of Holocaust people in those camps where they're lined up and they're just wearing like a potato sack, you
it's
know?
like you never see
Yeah.
them in the movie, but they're still their presence is there.
Yeah, you
Oh
could
yeah.
feel it, you know what I mean? Like,
And then you get that we get that ending where he's descending from the steps and he's throwing up on the way down, and then it turns into modern day where they're cleaning it, and
Yeah, I
like
yeah,
knew when it was open that door, I was like, those are modern clothes.
yeah,
well, it was almost kind of fucked up because the cleanest the cleanest that camp ever was after they're all dead.
yeah,
Because like they made a thing to show you because you like they play on your knowledge of how those camps look through other films.
yes,
Like the conditions were horrible. They lived in shit. They were herded up like cattle, all of
yeah,
that. And they made a point with the way they wrote these characters to show that guard, to show you that little oasis they had just literally over the fucking wall, man.
yeah,
And all the nice flowers along the wall.
yeah,
Yeah.
It was like, well, that was weird, man. The way that
And
they
just
washed those kids
yeah,
after being
mhm.
in the water and finding dead body part, like a bone. It was a jaw bone.
yeah,
Oh, and that dude got on there, but remember the scene where the the it's after the husband went to that other place after he got transferred,
Did he have
and
sex
she's
with
sitting
that
there.
woman?
yeah,
Yeah, I 100% think
For
that's
sure,
what
right?
happened
She
because
was taking her
because
shoes off, then he went and washed his junk.
yeah,
yeah, I
I was
think
like,
well, he was also because he was offering it to other guys too. He was like, "Mate, take your pick." Like
yeah,
he had hired a bunch of women or bought a bunch of
oh,
women or had access to it. It was like, so it's a lot of other people too as well. And I guess I would assume that's probably keeping everything on the hush. So yeah, I believe he did do that for real.
yeah,
Um, there's a shot though that stood out to me. It was the one where it was the pool, and it's like after they had had their day and everything, and he's just sitting there chilling. And it was when they fire up the incinerator for the first time,
oh, and you
and the
see it in
way,
the background.
yeah,
Yeah, dude.
that fucking Wes Anderson
And
shots,
fire
I'm gonna
was coming
call
out of
it.
it. Oh, whoever shot the
Yeah,
cinematographer was amazing.
yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, every shot, the one where they were carrying like just them moving stuff around the house, like when they're walking through the backyard,
Mm-hmm.
and how the camera would swap when she was with her mom. She
Oh
was like,
yeah,
"They call me
dude.
the Queen of Auschwitz," and it's like, ugh.
Oh yeah, and then you see it later on too. Whenever he's went to that other place, this is what I forgot, and you could tell she was not happy about it. The mom had done kicked rocks. She had her fill of the place,
Yeah,
and she's sitting there eating. And that woman comes in there, or one of the help, and she's like, "Get the mom's plate of food out of here."
yeah.
And she takes
yeah,
it. And at one point, she's like, when she does it, she goes, "Did you do that to spite me?" And the woman's like, "No, it wasn't me," or whatever. Well, she just starts chomping into her food like
And
she's
she was
pissed off, and
pissed.
she says, and she straight up she tells that woman, she's like, my husband could have your ashes spread across the blah 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 if I wanted to.
Yeah,
Like just some fucking hateful shit.
yeah. She was
yeah.
hateful. They like her.
Him him on that conversation where he was like she's like, "How's everything look?" And he's like, "I don't know, I'm just trying to imagine how much gas I would need to kill, like pump in here to kill everybody." It's like, but the ceilings are too high. It's like, what the
Yeah,
fuck, you know? So Rudolf Haas.
Was that based on a real guy?
Yes.
Oh.
He was an SS officer from May 1940 until November 1943. The commandant of the Auschwitz concentration camp. After the defeat of Nazi Germany and the end of World War II, he was convicted in Poland and executed for war crimes committed on the prisoners of the Auschwitz concentration camp and for his role in the Holocaust. He was the longest serving commandant of Auschwitz concentration camp from May the 4th, 1940 to November 1943, and again from May the 8th, 1944 to January the 18th, 1945. He tested and implemented means to accelerate Hitler's order to systematically exterminate the Jewish population of Nazi occupied Europe, known as the Final Solution. On the initiative of one of his subordinates, Karl Fritz, Haas introduced the pesticide Zyklon B to be used in gas chambers, where more than 1 million people were killed. He was hanged in 1947 following a trial before the Polish Supreme National Tribunal. During his imprisonment at the request of the Polish authorities, Haas wrote his memoirs released in English under the title Commandant of Auschwitz, the autobiography of Rudolf Haas or Hess. So yeah, based on
I was wondering the whole time if it was.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
The Final Solution. That's fucking terrifying.
Which led to me wondering though, because of the way the movie was, if this was like, was this some fucked up, screenplay somebody wrote and was like, let's just turn it into a movie.
Yeah.
But that adds a whole heightened level.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
It says that in the last days of the war, Himmler advised Haas to disguise himself as a member of the Kriegsmarine, adopting the pseudonym Franz Lang and working as a gardener. Haas lived in Getrupel, Schleswig-Holstein, and with his family and evaded arrest for nearly a year. 1946, Hans Alexander, a German Jew who had fled to England in 1936 and became a Nazi hunter, working for the British government's #1 war crimes investigation team, managed to discover his location. Alexander, who was then a captain in the Royal Pioneer Corps, traveled to Haas's residence with a group of British soldiers, many of whom were also Jewish. Alexander's men unsuccessfully interrogated Haas's daughter, Brigitte, for information. According to Brigitte, the soldiers subsequently started to beat her brother Klaus, leading to Haas's wife to give up his location. According to Alexander, Haas attempted to bite into a cyanide pill once he was discovered by the soldiers. He initially denied his identity, insisting he was a lowly gardener, but Alexander saw his wedding ring and ordered Haas to take it off, threatening to cut his finger off if he did not. Haas' name was inscribed inside. The soldier accompanying Alexander began to beat Haas with axe handles. After a few moments and minor internal debate, Alexander pulled them off.
So they about killed his ass on sight.
Yeah. Yep. He testified at the International Military Tribunal at Nuremberg, where he gave detailed accounting of his crimes.
They fucking hung his ass.
This is what he said. This was in his affidavit. I commanded Auschwitz until December the 1st, 1943, and estimated that at least 2,500,000 victims were executed and exterminated there by gassing and burning, and at least another 500,000 succumbed to starvation and disease, making a total of about 3 million dead.
Under his watch.
Yeah, this figure represents about 70 or 80% of all persons sent to Auschwitz as prisoners.
Oh yeah, dude. I think I remember vaguely, but like it was always considered in World War II that whenever they were sorting you to go to the different camps, if you were Jewish, if you were going to Auschwitz or if you were going to a place called Bergen-Belsen, I think those are also the ones that I think Anne Frank were dealt with too. But like if you were going to those and they assigned you to them, you were dead. Like those were straight up death camps. Like they were nothing more.
Yeah. In general, that's a picture of his of his children in the garden next to the camp.
Yeah, you can see the.
It looks almost fucking identical.
Yeah.
Yeah, they did. They had that. I forget what they call those things.
Oh, dude! And when they do the shit where they do the
had
birthday thing, and they show him the boat they got him,
Yeah.
like it's weird how he lived a
He's
normal
like,
life.
"Where'd you get a boat?" And she said, "I have my sources."
Yeah.
Slept in different beds.
Yeah. It's wild how whenever you look at like because we, you know, with us being the age we are and seeing the things that we've seen, it's like we don't look at war as like as a way to get monetary gain out of it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people do though. A lot of people look at war as a means to like we get rich.
Politicians.
Yes. Yeah. It's weird to see the perspective of someone, like you said, that's treating the extermination of an entire group of people as just a business decision.
It's just a job.
Yeah, as just that's it's the writer, director, actors, and everybody did a fantastic job of like communicating how just
sterile these people needed to be.
Yes. It's wild. It's almost more unsettling in a way than Schindler's List. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Well, because there was no real bleeding heart aspect to it. They treated like the reason why I feel like visually the decisions were made for you not to see the Jewish prisoners was to impact the business corporate end of how he was holding shit down over there.
Yeah. And the fact that like out of sight, out of mind.
Yeah, you couldn't sympathize with it, but it was always going on.
Yes.
You always heard scream. You heard their fucking gunshots. Screaming. Yeah,
just dude. Random people scream, and then I hear a gunshot. Like
the way they utilized the ambience of the movie.
Yes.
Was genius.
Yeah.
Because I feel like at first glance, when people watch the movie, they're not going to think much of it. But it's like, no, dude, you got to listen, literally listen to the movie. That's what this is about. It's an exercise in listening.
Yeah,
because
absolutely.
like not a whole lot goes on screen, really.
No,
it's like there really was no plot.
It's those quiet moments that let you realize they're murdering a lot of people, and it's like an unfathomable amount of people.
Yeah,
like I don't care how much brain rot people have subjected themselves to over the internet in terms of like modern conflicts and stuff. Like you were reading in the thing about the guy, 2-point-something million people.
2.5, and then another 500,000 that died because of disease and
they heard like those children heard so much death.
Yeah,
that was just part of it.
Yeah.
Like clearly some of those children, some of the girls knew that what was going on was fucked. But the guys were just like whatever. Like whenever the boys, like whenever the older brother locked the younger brother,
he had him like a prisoner,
and he started making noises like the gas chamber or the incinerator. Like he was already already getting plugged into the Matrix.
That uniform on.
Yeah,
and yeah, dude, like it's a fucked up movie disguised as a boring movie.
Yes,
very boring.
And
very.
Because like this movie's not gonna be just anybody's cup of tea. But like I would urge anyone to at least give it a shot because it's just so fucking creepy, man.
Yeah, it really is. And it's it feels very intentional, right? Because it's like,
for sure.
And that's the thing, like I said, going into it, knowing what it's about right out of the gate, I felt so weird the whole time. I couldn't imagine going into this and realizing like who these people are and what's happening, like as just a blind watch that you see on a streaming service someday.
Yeah,
and I don't know. It's just so unsettling. Like I felt weird after the movie.
It did have
you know what I
a
mean?
weird.
Yeah.
I was sitting there watching, and I was like, "It's really mysterious." Like,
Well,
Yes.
I'm sure it might not be the case, but it was almost like when it cut to the sequence where they're cleaning
oh, and it shows you
the
all those
museum.
shoes,
Yeah.
Well, when that woman was
little kid
sweeping the
shoes,
waiting
baby
line,
shoes.
it's like she's still sweeping up the ashes to this day. You know, like kind of a metaphor play on that, you know? Maybe it's just the eeriness setting in and being like, man, like what if it meant this or what if it meant that? But uh either way though, I totally get why it has a high score on both ends.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I do. I really do like how they shot that sequence though. Him looking down that hallway, and it's like him almost peeking into the legacy that he's leaving behind, and that's his legacy. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Yeah.
That's his mark on history right there.
a true dealer of death.
Yes, 3 million people, dude. 3 million people. Fuck. Like,
I
you know what I
mean,
mean?
and in the realm of watching this type of stuff where like, you know, it also kind of, you know, leans itself towards like true crime stuff. Um even though this is from the annals of history, but it's like you see those people who get convicted of murder and they you know, they kind of scoff and they're kind of proud over like, you know,
Yeah,
a
Yeah.
very tragic 5 to 10 murders, like a serial killer or something, you know?
Yeah.
And then you compare it to 3 million.
Yeah. But here's the thing, it's easier for someone to rationalize that when they're just following orders.
Yeah.
yep.
Oh,
And
which you
that
could clearly see at play.
yeah. And that's almost even more fucked up. It's like, well, what's going to happen to me? And it's like, bro, and it's that situation too where it's like, if you live or die, it's still going to happen. You know what I mean? So do I try to
Well, it
live
showed you that
comfortably?
it showed you that there will be someone else.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So it's
Someone's
like,
gonna fill that spot, like the war machine's gonna go, man.
yeah. So do I try to live comfortably with my family while all this stuff is happening and make the most out of it, or do I develop some kind of sympathy for these people and like try to do something about it where I'll definitely
Probably
get
be killed.
yes.
Yeah,
So it's like damned if you
a
do,
catch
damned if you
22
don't.
there.
Yeah,
Mhm.
exactly. So, and I'm not saying that. I don't want anybody to take that the wrong way where it's
Yeah,
like a justification for that guy's action, but at the same time, it's like if you're put into that situation, what do you choose to do? He's got
I
like
mean,
4 or 5 kids, he's got a wife. Like it's gonna happen.
what did our soldiers? There wasn't nobody over there in the sand trying to take my freedom away. What have we been over there doing?
Yeah,
Just
right.
killing people,
Yeah,
Well,
I know.
blowing them the fuck up,
I think I
all in
think
the
some
name
of
of
those
freedom.
scenes where I think some of those scenes where the main guys just kind of staring off, you know.
Yeah.
It's like y'all
I
got. Oh,
think
here comes some democracy.
Yeah.
a lot of it, right? But it's like those shots with him kind of staring off, like kind of almost like you know he's thinking about everything. It's like you're seeing that he's grappling like maybe he was grappling with the moral and ethical, you know, thing, but he just keeps choosing the wrong fucking decision.
Yeah. I think it would be here's what I'm thinking. Like I think it would be interesting for them to take this guy's story, not just this like excerpt that we saw from this, but his overall story and make it more of like a psychological kind of thing. Cause like, I mean, he wrote a book. I don't know. I haven't, of course, read the book or anything to see like what his thought process, but it would be interesting to see what his thought process through this whole thing is. You know what I'm saying? And like
Mm-hmm.
you know, trying to either rationalize it his own way or, you know, whatever. It's because, you know,
I
obviously he
want
didn't talk about that stuff with his wife. I mean, at least from the portrayal that we saw in the movie, it's like they didn't really She's just worried about keeping her kids there.
And
it's like
having a nice house and
yes, yeah, right. It's like what?
And they're bringing her like, oh, here's a fur coat we took from some Jewish person.
Yeah.
You know all that stuff they were bringing there. That's where they were getting it from. The kids playing with teeth.
Yes.
Gold teeth.
That was fucked up.
It's fucking yeah.
You're probably not gonna believe I'm saying this, Griffin, but I'm waiting for a movie done in the style because we've seen it done of Quentin Tarantino mixed with a little Guy Ritchie, but 2 Jew hunters fucking honing in on a guy. You know, like they're hunting down Nazis.
That show's really good. The Hunters?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's really good. I've watched every season of it. And that's what they do is they hunt down Nazis.
But like, you know, almost like the you know, in that weird
they fuck them up.
that rapid fire dialogue, you know?
Yeah.
Is that kind of what that show is? Exactly?
It's good, dude. Yeah, I mean, it's got a lot of action, a lot of killing. They hunt Nazis down and fucking kill them.
Take them out. Take them out.
It's got Al Pacino.
So, I mean, that's a show that writes. Okay, yeah, I'm about to say because that's a show that writes itself, really.
Yeah,
and it takes place like in the 70s.
Oh, dude, so it's funkified, man.
Yeah,
like they're
it's
rolling
got a little
up
comedy.
fucking,
I couldn't get enough of
but
it.
a motherfucker pulls dudes hunting down in a blacked out galaxy.
But yeah, it was. I mean, it was very unsettling. It did what they set out to do.
It's a different kind of war film.
Yes, absolutely. It's not something that I'm probably ever going to revisit. I think that first time was enough for me. It's kind of like I've only watched Schindler's List one time.
Same.
And I'm good. You know what I mean?
Certain movies, Passion of Christ.
Yeah.
You see it once, you're like, I'm good.
Yeah,
I get the message.
Well, the thing is that those type of movies are like you always hear that term for movies where it's like it's powerful, you know.
Yeah.
So and so gives the performance of a lifetime. That type of stuff, you know. And I hate to kind of fall on buzzwords with it, but you know, the movies like these type of these Holocaust driven films and other films of that type of ilk, they really are very powerful movies. And when they're done, if you paid attention, you're like, yeah, I'm good.
Yeah,
I'm good. Like, and not in a bad way, but it's just because like the emotion or what I assume are the perceived emotions that this movie is meant to get across to you. If you're a rational human being, at least, I guess.
Yeah.
It's enough to kind of, I mean, we've all watched it at respectively different times. So I assume whoever watched it, you know, a few days ago, probably still kind of resonating a little.
Yeah, I watched it Sunday. And I'm still over here like, what the? Imagine walking out of your house.
Did you still find yourself kind of chewing on it?
Well, not really chewing on it as much as like, imagine walking out of your house and you just hear people being just fucking murdered. And you look out your window
and the roar of the flames. You could hear it.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
That constantly just.
Yeah.
It's honestly.
And they're having a fucking pool party.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, dude, it's what hell is. It's what hell on earth would look like, literally. If I could steal some biblical terms, you know.
Yeah.
Like it's hell on earth, dude. Your life's okay, but you're looking out in the distance and you're hearing in the background everything is falling the fuck apart.
Yeah. And you know, at a certain point, I thought that like it was going to build up to when either they left the camp, you know, or like the war front moves closer. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
I thought that it was going to build up to that, and
like
it's going to show
movies.
Yeah, but no, just
the way that it's just like, well, that's it. Here's a shot of the museum.
Yeah.
Well, I know that
luggage.
Well, I know that motive is a whole other topic for a whole other podcast, but if you wanted to look at this movie, also, man, you could quantify it to how us as Americans, to a degree, how we live our lives with all the war in the Middle East.
Yeah.
So I was talking about earlier. I was like, we do it every day.
Since 2001,
man,
America's lived under this thing where you get up and go do whatever you got to do, but guess what? We're drone striking and bombing and just laying to waste the Middle East to a degree, you know,
making people that are gonna hate us for the rest of their life.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, we just gave a large amount of money to a country that wiped out 40,000 people.
Yeah.
I mean, and we're sitting over here with fucking toothpicks in our mouth, like, trying to get the steak out of it, you know?
So, I mean, for people...
We've had it too good for too long. There's going to be a rude awakening one day.
Yeah, for sure.
We've just had it too good too long.
Yeah, it just, in the context of the movie, it's just, that was something that came to mind, though. Like, the way that they kind of, they ignored it.
Yeah, when you're sitting there, it's like, how could you live that way? It's like, how do you live that way?
And when they reacted to it kind of half-assedly. Like, they're just so numb to it. That's just another day. Like hearing a firing squad was just a Wednesday afternoon for them, you know? Mom's got cookies baking.
Or that once where that guy was screaming.
Yeah.
And it went on for a very long time.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, like
I give it a full star though, man.
Same. I think it's
a star.
I think if you're into film, it's definitely worth watching from that, because the cinematography, all, like, it was just, it's well made. And if you're into history,
it's it's a disgusting look into a person's personal life.
Yes.
But not in the way that you think. Because saying it that way, I feel like evokes the idea that it's like you're going to see a dingy room with, you know, somebody just like, I mean, you kind of get that with the dick washing sequence, but it's not the case, you know. It's not like this motherfucker, like, this motherfucker lives to the, yeah, like he washes his dick after he cheats, you know, like any proper piece of shit.
He's a gentleman.
Yeah. He's not gonna. He's not. I mean, he's at least gonna wipe the slime off.
He was wearing a white suit at that birthday party.
Yeah,
like everything, the white tie, white everything. It was like, break that up, man. That's a lot of white.
Like, how Bee Gees was that shit?
Yeah.
And the way that they almost went out of their way, and I'm sure it was really like this, but just to make this place almost look like a fucking paradise.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, to show you that, like, too, like, all those scenes when they're eating, man, they're just eating like that one guy's sitting there fucking eating a beautiful cake, man, right in front of him on the plate and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But you know that, like, not even 100 feet, there's motherfuckers starving to death. Like, literally, like, not in that, like, you're well off, so fuck you. But it's like, no, dude, you're a sick fuck because you're eating well, and you're fucking got thousands of people behind you, behind a fucking wall. It's just sitting there rotting and dying, dude. Like, that's disturbing to me.
Yeah.
That's more horrifying than any boo fucking slasher fucking bullshit, man.
Yeah.
Like, real life horror doesn't make you go, oh man, I'm scared to go to bed. Real horror is the eeriness of these unsettling films that A24, which we're not, it's not like we're getting paid by these fuckers, but man, they don't put out shit films, dude. Like, I don't know.
No, they hit dingers.
Like, I mean, it's either not your cup of tea and you respect it, or it's badass and you're like, hell yeah. But yeah, man. It gets the coveted real estate sad face that we give for really depressing movies that are really good.
The Crying Monkey Award.
Yeah, it's definitely the Crying Monkey, dude. Holy shit. Because after it went off, I felt really fucking weird I'm still feeling weird about it, but for about the first hour or two after it went off, I was just like.
But could you say it's the same way you felt at the end of, like, say, Schindler's List or Saving Private Ryan, where it's like, okay, modern day,
those movies had a plot.
Like, damn,
when this movie went off,
I
said out loud, that was boring as fuck. I just because it was boring. I mean, there was just nothing going on. It was like, oh, okay, we're just watching this. I'm a fly on the wall.
Yeah, it was.
You felt like you were standing there watching it.
It was,
and
visually,
people were just having a normal.
Yeah. It was visually boring because you're just watching this very, like, for the most part, mundane existence than any other person in this. You know what I mean? Except Holocaust.
Yeah. Like there. Every time he's outside smoking, it's just you can see the buildings.
Yep.
And there's a bunch of them. Like,
well, whenever
he's right at the gate,
and it adds to the cinematography.
Like, damn,
too.
You couldn't build it a little bit away from the damn fence?
Well, it's like, man, dude, you couldn't fucking live like 10 miles away from this shit, maybe.
Yeah.
Like, you have to be right up there on it. Which that motherfucker rode in that thing on horseback. And did you notice something too? That horse is the only thing on screen that he said, "I love you" to.
Yeah.
Oh, whenever he was having to move.
Yeah.
He went and told his horse goodbye.
Yeah, he said, "I love." Yeah, he made. But I noticed that too with the dialogue, that it's the only thing that he shows genuine love for.
Yeah.
Like, everything else is just duty and orders. Like, even if you look at it in terms of, like, the Nazi idea of how they thought maybe the family unit ought to be, which is basically just the strict, fundamentalist strictness.
Whatever Dad says, we do.
Yeah. And
unless it's moved.
And I thought
she
that
put her
was
foot
crazy.
down on that. I was surprised. I thought he was gonna hit her. I was like,
yeah, right.
I was pressing an SS officer.
Well, that's what's creepy is I was waiting for those moments when the mask was going to slip. I'm like, okay, we're going to get a moment where we're going to awkwardly sip, because that was something too.
Slap his heels together,
Like, yeah, like on the scenes, like, because I mean, right off the bat, the minute they let you know, the minute home guy fucking walks out, he's strapped to the nines and SS attire. You're like, okay, piece of shit.
Yeah.
No sympathy for this guy in the movie. But when he was away, and you would see shit like the woman's putting makeup on, trying on lipstick, and you're hearing the camp do its shit,
Yeah.
Or like, all those little things. And they almost make you almost sympathize for this family. But then when the wife starts getting irritable, starts treating people like shit, you're like, nah, fuck these people all.
When she said she was the queen of Auschwitz, it was like,
because they also slowly get you to write them fucking kids off too. You're like, they're spoiled.
They're little Nazis
spoiled
too,
Well, it's like well, it's like, dude, the well's been poisoned. Like, if they're already out there pretending to put their siblings in gas chambers, they're fucking
somebody's poisoned the water hole.
Like, oh man, with cyanide, bro.
Yeah.
But I think for people who like the World War II era film, I would say once you've had your fill of the constant combat action, everything, and a change of pace and something of more of like that sits and requires you to put yourself, as uncomfortable as it is, in the headspace of this man. This is a weird alternative, but you got to know what you're going into before you watch it, because
helps to watch the trailer.
Yes, yeah. Unless you're someone that just watches movies and you can pick up with what the director's putting down, this is probably not going to be.
Just look at the image and say, sure, are living their life crazy. Like, you ain't gonna read the synopsis.
No,
you're gonna check the score.
We're going in blind. Yeah,
you don't even know what it's about.
Drama. Yeah, it's like, no.
Well, if the synopsis sounds boring to you, you're probably right. Because that's the thing. We're just talking about the movie itself. We're not talking about World War II and the actual world events that it transpires. So if it sounds like we're being nonchalant, we're not. We understand the gravity of it, but it's a fucking movie. So we're treating it like a movie.
Absolutely.
It was indeed a movie.
But yeah,
I didn't hate it.
Yeah, it's an excellent film. Yes. But it's not your Sunday afternoon movie. Like, watch something more entertaining if that's the only time you got to watch a film.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, go watch The Beekeeper or some shit.
Yeah.
Oi. Is he keeping bees, Eddie? What you want to do is take a bus down to Piccadilly, right? Yeah, walk around a bit.
All right.
Stop by the vendor on the 3rd Street. He makes a mean hot dog, a mean glizzy. I don't know. I fucked that all up.
We got a little bit of movie news here, though.
Oh, man. Deal it.
So, Godzilla Minus One director wants more legendary kaiju in the sequel. So, director Takashi Yamazaki is hoping to do what he feels has never been done before with Godzilla in a Godzilla Minus One sequel. Add more monsters while maintaining the focus on the human characters.
Yes.
Speaking with Empire, Yamazaki would love to achieve that difficult balance in a Godzilla Minus One follow-up, explaining that he would need to, quote, make sure that the human drama and whatever's happening between the kaiju both have meaning, and both are able to affect one another in terms of plot development. This is what he said about it. I don't know that anyone has pulled off a more serious tone of kaiju versus kaiju with human drama, and that challenge is something that I'd like to explore. When you have movies that feature kaiju battles, I think it is very easy to put the spotlight and the camera on the massive spectacle, and it detaches itself from the human drama component. While the director stated that a sequel to his monster hit Godzilla Minus One has not been officially greenlit yet, he said that he is, quote, very curious about the future of Koichi Shishkashima and Oishi, the couple at the center of the first movie. I would certainly like to see what the sequel would look like. I know that Shikashima's war seems over and we've reached this state of peace and calm, but perhaps it's the calm before the storm, and the characters have not yet been forgiven for what has been imposed upon them. So this sounds interesting. I know that I did see another article that said that the director didn't want to reveal what the budget was whenever he was talking to other studios about making movies, because he didn't want them to think that he could make something like that again with the budget that he had. He's like, I don't want to put that stress on me, you know. So like,
I mean, dude, y'all know my thoughts on this movie, and I'm not gonna beat a dead horse. But if he can maintain the tone, like he was saying, like if he can keep that human element,
yeah,
going on throughout the film, which I mean, honestly, okay, like for instance, you know how in
Horse is still breathing,
like in Man of Steel, when Superman and Zod are battling out and they're just destroying Metropolis,
yes,
and pretty much a lot of the subsequent dilemmas in the film series at the time was because that fight was so devastating. It's what brings Batman, you know, that type of whole, like the human factor of what was all the people that were in danger in that fight.
Yeah.
Is part of what, for me as a fan of those movies, what made that part compelling.
Yeah.
And this would be no different.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think the tone that he set with, because like, don't think that this movie is just a lot of humans. I mean, it is to an extent, but like, it's, make no mistake, like Joker was just Taxi Driver with DC Comics spray painted on it. Godzilla Minus One is just Jaws, but take out Jaws, put in Godzilla.
Right.
But it's just that fucking good, man. It's just that there's an undeniable like banger of it, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think that, you know, I would totally go, I would gladly give this director my money. And they need to, like, if Toho is smart, as long as this dude is down to direct these Godzilla movies, fucking let him, dude.
Yeah, it says here that it's seen a huge success at the box office, grossing over 100 million worldwide against its less than $15 million budget, as well as breaking box office records and achieving the biggest opening weekend ever for a live action Japanese movie. So I don't know why Toho wouldn't want to continue messing with this guy. You know what I mean? Like,
Mm-hmm.
and it could be a situation where it's like, well, can he capture lightning in a bottle twice? And it's like, well, it's not necessarily that. You know what I'm saying? Like, hopefully they won't get cold feet. Is basically what I'm saying. If he's
It's
interested,
allowing Yamazaki to just cook because
yes,
he got to have that with -1. No one knew what the fuck was going on with the project.
yeah,
Like, just let this man cook, stir the pot, and then when he's ready to serve, fucking let it. Like,
yeah,
don't give this dude a time crunch because
no,
-1 gave us something Godzilla was missing for a long time, and that was quality.
right. So
And
yeah,
yeah,
hopefully, that will happen. Like you said, haven't really talked to him about it, but like, if let him write the script, see what it looks like, and then go from there with it. Like, don't just shoot it down, and don't be hesitant about it, but also don't rush something else out just because
just to
you're
cash
smashing
in.
records. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Because I
yeah.
mean,
If it takes several years, man, I mean, dude, with as good as that movie was, man, I'll gladly wait how long it takes,
Did
dude.
you see where Spielberg praised him?
I
no, but that's
mean,
awesome.
He ran into him at an event, and Spielberg came over and was like, "Oh my god, I love the movie." And this dude, he's like, Spielberg's like a god to me,
Right.
So when he came over and was like, I watched the movie at home, and then I
Mhm.
went into an IMAX theater and then a Dolby Atmos theater. He went and watched it 3 times.
Damn.
if I had if everything had lined up right and if Lucas Cinema had played it in my area, I would have gladly gave my money to watch the black and white version just to go because that's honestly I can say the biggest reason I'm excited for us to review this one when it finally drops is not because I get to fucking suck it off for an hour and a half, but genuinely because I get to watch the movie again.
Yeah.
It's that good to me, like in my opinion.
Right.
And because certainly not trying to overhype it to you guys, but like everything's so impactful when it does happen in the movie, and that's something that Legendary has injected steroids in, and
Yeah.
it's something that Toho has been slowly coming back,
Right.
because it does not link anything to Shin Gojira at all, which when this one comes out, I would totally like for us if it suits y'all's fancy to take 2 weeks and watch the 2 modern Japanese Godzilla movies.
Yeah, I'm down. I'm down with that. So next up here, Arrowverse writer executive producer teases Superman series starring Brandon Routh. So it's a bird, it's a plane. No, it's Brandon Routh. Could the actor who first took flight as a Man of Steel in Superman Returns actually be suiting up to reprise the role again? Well, it might not be as that particular version of Clark Kent slash Superman, but Arrow's co-creator Mark Guggenheim has teased discussions between himself and Routh about a sequel series featuring Kingdom Come Superman, who appeared in the Arrow versus crossover event Crisis on Infinite Earths. Guggenheim wrote on X, formerly Twitter, Brandon and I have talked about a sequel series. We have some really exciting ideas. In addition to the aforementioned revelation, Guggenheim responded approximately 3 hours later to a post by this person on X, and he wrote, "Coolest thing we ever did." The GIF or GIF, depending on features featured Superman flying above the Earth in the CW's television crossover event, Crisis on Infinite Earths. Check out the post below. Um, the timing for a Ralph-led Superman series on the CW couldn't be more perfect since Superman and Lois season 4 will mark the final go-round for Tyler Hoechlin's interpretation of the Man of Steel. While attending the Television Critics Association panel, CW's president of entertainment, Brad Schwartz, indicated that Superman and Lois final season will likely drop this fall, but a release date isn't set in stone at the time of writing. Schwartz said per Deadline, "I watched the first episode last night. It will make you cry."
Speaking of
So,
that, isn't he the emo Superman? right?
The
one that was crying.
Did he cry?
He made fun of him. There's a whole thing about it. They made fun of him, like he was like the emo Superman, right?
Well, I remember that people have memed the ugly cry of Christopher Reeve, when he's flying off to spin around the world in reverse time.
There's some like scene in the movie where he gets all emotional, and it's I just remember people making fun of that years ago. Like,
yeah. I mean, it would be nice to see Brandon Routh get a redemption arc, because Superman Returns was what it was. And now I appreciate it as a attempt to be a continuation of the Christopher Reeves aesthetic.
Yes.
I appreciate it for that. But at the end of the day, I wasn't, over the moon about it.
Oh, dude. I remember I'm like, the dude from The Usual Suspects is playing Lex Luthor, greatest Lex of all time. Boy, was we wrong. You know what I mean? Like, but
suddenly,
he's the perfect.
Suddenly, Kryptonite Island.
Yes. I mean, dude, he would have been perfect as Lex, but they didn't Lex him up,
Yeah.
So.
But I mean,
they did shoot Superman in the eye with a bullet.
Yes.
And it just flat like a can. It was like.
Yeah.
Now, I will say that his appearance in that crossover event was pretty good.
Yeah.
So I see why the rumor mills and the attempts are being made to bring him back.
Yeah.
Well, he's like 44 now.
Yeah.
So
well, and CW doesn't. Flash is done. Arrow's done.
Yeah, they gotta do something, right?
Superman and Lois is ending. I think Guardians of Tomorrow or whatever that didn't last long. Like, I think that they've wrapped all of their series up, except for Supergirl's done. I think so.
I will say that since they're using Kingdom Come Superman, it would be really cool, because that's going to let him play into his age.
Yes.
And it's also going to. It could also open, because I mean, maybe I'm just, I don't know, an idiot, but I really like the idea behind Superman, his Man of Tomorrow run.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Where it's like it's in like almost the distant future, and Lex Luthor has put this kryptonite particle in the air around Metropolis, so Superman can't even like protect his own city.
Yeah.
And it's a cool, and there's just this whole moment where, it lets you realize, he's outlived just about everybody. And, it would be a cool, kind of a cool, thing they could touch with this iteration as well. Like they could, because that's the thing, they don't have to stay beholden to any comic canon anymore, because I think the interest that gets generated from these shows will enhance how good the classics are.
Yeah.
So, but just what I was thinking about it.
Yeah. Well, speaking of DC, so Warner Brothers Discovery CEO reveals more DCU updates are coming over the months ahead. So comic book film fans have plenty to be excited about in the next few months as insights into the DC universe continue to unfold. The CEO of Warner Brothers Discovery, Zaslav, reveals that he has caught a glimpse of what DC Studios CEOs James Gunn and Peter Safran are cooking up for their highly anticipated DCU at Warner Brothers. Discovery's 2023 fourth quarter earnings call, Zaslav said, I've had a glimpse into what James and Peter are doing, and it really does serve as an exciting indicator of where the new DC is headed under their leadership. There'll be more you'll hear from them in the months ahead. We'll have James and Peter take you through the next few months, a full spectrum of what they see over the next 10 years. So Zaslav's thrilling revelation comes on the heels of Gunn, Safran, and the cast of Superman Legacy sitting down together for their first table read. Gunn released a photo of the gathering on his Instagram, which features David Cornsweet, and his arm around a bald Nicholas Hoult. Check the images below. So yeah, I assume that they're just going to trickle little informations out. I mean, if they're doing the table read, then it's going to be, they're fixing to get to it. So I'm interested to see, like, are they going to come hard? Because, like, look at what Marvel's done. Yeah, well, I didn't even. But look at what Marvel's. Marvel went. They started slow. They built momentum. Then they just like busted everywhere.
Hard in the sheets.
Yeah, to a point to where people just almost quit caring. Now with Deadpool, they're kind of peeling back a little bit on what they were doing. So I wonder how Warner Brothers Discovery's approach to a cinematic universe is going to be, if they're going to come in hard with it, if they're going to try to pace themselves out. I don't know. It could be too much too quick. You know what I mean? And if you're building that much and it doesn't hit the nail on the head for the audience, then all that work is going to be for nothing. You know what I mean?
Well,
So like,
I think if we're gonna trust how Gunn handles this, I think Gunn's gonna play into the fact that he knows through Guardians and his work at Marvel and with Suicide Squad that people are okay not only with team up films right from the jump, but they're also okay with just utilizing what's established. People are okay with it not having an hour
we
of
know where
someone's
Superman came
origin.
from.
Like,
yeah,
we don't have to hear that story
so
again.
a lot of the chuffa can be cut because by the time you watch these movies, or at least by the time in your superhero movie, crawl, it's going to be a minute before you even make it to Superman Legacy, or at least if you're a God-fearing, American.
yeah,
I don't know any other way to put it, but you know what I'm saying. But they're okay with it. But it also showed you with Suicide Squad that you could take obscure characters as well as Guardians of the Galaxy and make a very good and compelling, an entertaining movie.
yeah,
And just echoing what I said a minute ago, you don't have to just keep bombarding people with an origin story now. We get it. This hero's been around. He's a hero for a reason.
yeah,
Let's get to it. And for the
yeah,
people who read these comic books and stuff, if you honor the nuances in those books through the way you write your characters, then it's going to shut them up. It certainly shuts me up.
yeah,
So, I mean,
yeah. So I'm excited to see what happens, and I'm also excited to see the information that's going to be trickled out. And I think some of this information is going to have to do with like where does Blue Beetle stand in all this? Where does I know that
well,
uh
remember, he's a stepping stone, though. Now, how he's going to fit into it, I feel like he's probably going to be reduced to where Blue Beetle stands, probably in comic lore.
well, yeah, and that's the thing though.
Like,
It's like the movie didn't do well, so it's like, are they going to continue forward with bringing that character over into the DCU, or are they just going to say, well, that was like pre Saffron and Gunn. We're just gonna like scrap that whole thing, and we may visit Blue Beetle in the future, but it's gonna be a whole different story with a whole
but
different cast and all that. You know what I mean?
but the shame of it all, though, is that it didn't do well. But it's not that it wasn't a bad movie.
Mhm.
I mean, it was a movie.
Well, I mean, it's Blue Beetle. Like your average moviegoer isn't gonna know who the hell Blue Beetle
I
even is. You know
mean
what I mean?
it was for the Iron Man, Deadpool, Spider-Man fans.
Yeah.
And it accomplished what I thought it set out to do. Um,
Right.
it I think it was just one of them little stepping stone films to get us to Aquaman, to let us properly close the Snyderverse. And who knows? Maybe they'll find a way to keep Blue Beetle as like, establish your comic reliefs so that when the serious characters that, you can either deadpan the humor with the way they're just so blunt,
Yeah.
you can have that stuff happen, but it doesn't have to be Quip City. You just leave it to a certain character. When Blue Beetle's on board, like you're probably gonna get a couple laughs for a minute, you know?
Right. But yeah, I'm interested to see what's going to be trickled out. I haven't watched Blue Beetle or the new Aquaman movie yet, so I'm definitely going to put that on the list of stuff to peep.
I'll argue that it's not the best movie in the world, but I'll tell you, when I was done watching it, I wasn't like ate up about it. Like it was not a bad movie. It was just like watching a Spider-Man movie. Just they called him Blue Beetle instead.
Right. And that's like I haven't watched it because I'm not interested in it. It's just, time.
But I mean, you nailed it though. You nailed it with your assumption of where is he going to fit? Because I'll say that like it does present a problem.
Right. So we'll see. And that would be the information that I would like to see trickle out more so than like announcements for like what's going to be coming up, because we already have a good chunk of announcements. We got the Supergirl movie, we got the Superman movie, we've got talks of a Batman movie, we've got several crossover properties, or not crossover, but team properties that they're working on, even animated stuff that's going to be part canon. So it's like, let's finally like establish what's what and what's canon and what's not. That way the audience can go into Superman, can go into the Batman movie not going to be the Pattinson Batman. Like they can go into it knowing how this all kind of fits together. Because right now I'm fucking confused. Like, dude said he's done playing Aquaman, but money talks. You know what I mean? Like, there's too many like unknown variables in a lot of this. So, but yeah, I think Gunn and Safran's going to do okay. They've got to get their ducks in a row for the average goer.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of getting their ducks in a row here, Brie Larson bluntly dodges questions about her Captain Marvel future. So, The Marvels was one of the most disappointing releases of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, not necessarily in the quality of the movie, but in its final box office haul. Bringing together the joint force of Captain Marvel, Miss Marvel, and Photon, the female centric film closed out its theatrical run with a worldwide haul of $206.1 million, Marvel Studios' lowest grossing movie to date. So, where does this leave Captain Marvel's place in the MCU? Don't ask Brie Larson. In 2019, Captain Marvel soared to 1 billion without a hitch. Of course, that movie was released in between Infinity War and Endgame, which certainly didn't hurt the film's box office and countered the wave of online hate and review bombing that besieged it. Although the MCU has struggled to reach those kinds of highs, recently the idea that the Marvels would become such a dud was still unthinkable ahead of the film's release. Larson has previously been quite vocal about her doubts over her role as Carol Danvers and how much longer she will be playing the Avenger. However, while appearing at the SAG Awards, Larson was asked by Extra about what could be next for Captain Marvel, and her response was curt and not exactly full of optimism. She said, "I don't have anything to say about that." The question of where it all went wrong for the Marvels is one that has proven harder to answer since the film's arrival on Disney Plus. As the sequel dropped on the platform, many of those who had not bothered to see it in cinemas decided to check it out and subsequently took to social media to share their regret at not watching it on the big screen. While critics continued to have beef with superhero movies in general, the Marvels still managed to maintain a fresh score of 62%. This may not be anything to write home about, and left the film languishing as the third lowest ranked movie of the franchise. However, audiences were much happier with the film, giving it an 82% approval rating, placing it above the critically lauded Black Panther and Avengers Age of Ultron. The Marvels provided some intriguing future threads to be picked up by the franchise, and Carol Danvers' future appearances seems to be uh, seems to be a certainty with two Avengers movies on the way. So, would it be possible for Brie Larson to step away from the franchise before that event? It seems unlikely, and probably Larson simply didn't want to be drawn into a discussion about the Marvels or potential MCU projects when appearing at the awards ceremony. I think that she hasn't talked to anybody at Marvel. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know, because like with Deadpool coming out and it's the only MCU movie that's going to be dropping this year, I really think that they're hinging the future of the MCU on the Deadpool movie. How well is the Deadpool movie going to do? What's the audience's reception of it? And then they're going to pivot into the direction, hopefully that the audience wants. At least that's what I would do if I was in charge. So I don't think that anybody's even talked to her about like a future for Captain Marvel in the MCU right now, because they don't know what they're going to do.
Well, they definitely don't want to lose more money.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
You got two.
Yeah. So I mean, it is what it is at the end of the day, but like we did our review on the Marvel. So I'll just leave it at that. It was what I thought it was
going to be.
No, I mean, it wasn't terrible, but like, whenever your audience isn't happy with someone that is cast in your movie, I mean, we've had recast before, you know what I mean? Yep. Without any kind of like acknowledgement or anything. So like, it's not that hard.
Disney also just recently fired the person that was in charge of the remakes.
Really?
Yep.
Like the live action?
Yep. Little Mermaid.
Well, Favreau did great with those first, 2?
Yeah.
And then, yeah. Well, sounds about right. So they finally announced the cast of the Fantastic Four. So we've got Pedro is going to be Mr. Fantastic. Sue Storm, aka the Invisible Woman, is going to be played by Vanessa Kirby. Joseph Quinn will star as Johnny Storm, and Eben Moss Backrack will star as Ben Grimm, aka the Thing. What do y'all think about this casting?
I like it.
Joseph Quinn Eddie is coming to the MC.
Off that guitar solo.
Yeah, I mean, Christy, wake up. You know what I mean?
Susan, wake up.
Yeah, exactly, dude. I think Pedro as Mr. Fantastic is incredible casting. Makes sense. What's interesting though is like people think that the movie, because of some of the stuff that's been released for it, is going to be set in the 60s, which is going to put it lining up with the original Ant-Man stuff that was happening. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, if this movie is going to be taking place it's going to be like a Captain Marvel situation. Captain Marvel came out between Infinity War and Endgame, and it took place in the 90s. So it's like, how does this really link itself to what's going to be going on in Endgame? Well, it really doesn't. It's just introducing the character. So how is this going to link itself to or is this going to be an alternate universe version of the Fantastic Four? Like we don't really know how this is going to like factor itself into all this, So it's very interesting that they're going that route with it. But I think it's good casting, though.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's really good casting. So Leo DiCaprio warns Timothée Chalamet no superhero movies. So DiCaprio doesn't mince words when it comes to superhero films. Back in 2022, Titanic star and Chalamet worked together on director Adam McKay's sci-fi comedy Don't Look Up. It was then that DiCaprio warned young Chalamet, I don't know how, not to do drugs and not to make superhero movies. Jesus Christ.
Well, I know, right?
The fact that he holds those two to the same.
Yeah, right. This was the quote. Well, Leonardo DiCaprio said to me, "No superhero movies, no hard drugs," which I thought was very good. I follow them both. But the movie that made me want to act is a superhero movie, The Dark Knight. If the script was great, if the director was great, I'd have to consider it.
They're praising the hell out of that Dune movie.
I can't wait, dude. It comes out Friday.
Same.
They are praising it like,
yeah. I can't wait to see it. But I mean, dude, he did Wonka. You know, he's doing Dune. Like Dune, he's kind of a superhero in a way, right? Like
it's a sci-fi movie.
Yeah, Paul Atreides is kind of like a superhero in a way. Like he's Jesus. He's Dune Jesus, right? So like he's already kind of doing that in a way. So he'll be in a superhero movie. He'll probably be a villain or something like that. I don't see them paying him. I mean, he's young, but like he's doing Dune, so he's gonna be. You know what I mean? Like he's gonna be something. So he's a great actor though. Like for real.
Chalamet.
Chalamet.
Chalamet the God.
That's all I had for the movie news is here. I'm ready for some trailer action though. Some traction? Some trailer act? Dude.
Knox Goes Away with Michael Keaton. Let's fucking do it.
All right.
Christy Winkett.
I got it stuck in my head too.
Yeah.
Preacher Keaton.
Ooh. Okay.
They originally casted Bruce Willis to do this, but he really does have dementia. He got lost in the role.
James Marsden? Pacino. Is that Bryce Dallas Howard?
I think so.
Marcia Gay Harden. I mean, it looks like a better of the old man kicking ass films.
It's a really interesting concept. I definitely want to. Yeah, right. I do want to check that out for sure.
Asphalt City Limits.
Yeah, I don't have an ad. I'm good.
Same.
Sean Penn.
Do you believe in hell? Can someone get me a fucking tourniquet? You know.
First movie I ever saw Sean Penn was a cop movie. You don't know nothing about the Toad.
Yeah, he's gonna stare into a corner and be like, "You do this job long enough, you stop being the job." It's the second ambulance movie that's come out in the past 5 years. Baby's dead, bruh. That's why we won the award.
It's gonna be an intense movie.
Yeah.
Until they cue this shit.
That's the chick from True Detective, huh?
Yeah.
Wow.
Damn right. Is this A Few Good Men, the EMT version?
You need ketamine.
Like K-hole?
Looks like it's gonna be pretty good. It's like Mike Tyson in the role of a lifetime. Get out there and save those people.
Look, man.
Bring them back alive.
Those people don't get paid enough, and it takes the right kind of person to deal with that shit. You know what I mean?
For real.
So.
No, that's right.
Yeah. So, I mean, just the stuff that I've heard from nowhere that we live at, I couldn't imagine being a fucking
like in a city,
EMT in
like
New York
or Atlanta.
Yeah, dude. No,
it's just
hell
gotta be
no.
wild.
Yeah,
Man, that's too goofing for me.
Yeah. The Watchers. What are we watching?
Nobody watches The Watchers.
Oh.
The Watchers on the wall, you know.
That's the chick from Loki.
I do not like this.
What's happening?
The music makes me uncomfortable as fuck, like dude. Ain't nobody helping mirror. You.
Ruddy Mysterious. Are they aliens?
I think so.
Is this a play on the Dark Watchers?
They look like an ant bed.
Yeah.
Oh.
Y'all know what the Dark Watchers are?
Mm-mm. What?
Oh God.
What's happening?
I don't know.
Could you hear us, Trav?
Yeah, it's playing Villains Inc.
I haven't played it yet.
It's been playing it. Oh, I thought y'all were just moving on. I was gonna read y'all what the Dark
No, I
Watchers
stopped and
were.
waited. I didn't play the.
Oh, my bad.
Did
So
it
I'm gonna
stop?
give you the. Nah, I had to manually stop it, but I got it reset. So when we're ready, just let me know. But it says the Dark Watchers are tall, featureless, dark silhouettes, often adorned with brimmed hats or walking sticks. They have been reported to be seen in the hours around twilight and dawn, motionlessly watching travelers from the horizon along the St. Lucia mountain range. For more than 300 years, people have looked up into the rural mountains of California to see tall, dark figures staring back at them, only to watch them disappear moments later. The apparitions have been described as witches with brimmed hats and walking sticks in hand. Oral tales across generations warn that approaching these specters would result in one's disappearance. Modern science has suggested that the Dark Watchers might simply be the result of a hallucination, but the phenomenon is no less mystifying or terrifying.
Might be. Was directed by M. Night Shyamalan's daughter.
Oh, okay.
Mysterious creatures stalk a young artist and three strangers in an Irish forest.
That's the vibe I got from it.
So it's based off of a book called The Watchers, a thrilling gothic horror. No, The Watchers by A.M. Shine.
I just wonder if it's. I wonder if they're inspired by that at least. You know what I mean? Because like whenever you find a lot of crazy, like not necessarily conspiracy theories, but like old, like like really crazy tales and stuff like that.
Yeah.
A lot of times it'll overlap into Dark Watcher stuff.
It's a #1 bestseller in Ireland travel guides, which is wow. Okay, that book is that okay. It was published in 2021, so it's relatively. So it might be a take, yeah. But it might be some kind of Irish folklore because it says that it's well, maybe the Dark Watchers moved from Ireland to California. Let me get my swap board out. All right, I'm ready for this trailer.
All right, I'm gonna start playing it. Is it playing, Trav?
No.
You may have to leave and come back in.
Okay.
Try that.
Colin Lockery?
Like just leave the activity and then join it back.
Yeah.
It is Colin.
Oh my god.
Now is it working?
Yeah. All right, it's playing now.
That's why I dropped it, because I had Colin in it.
He even called out the name of his attack.
He hasn't aged a day.
No.
He looks the same. That's dude that was on that show. Used to watch it all the time.
I think there might be something here,
Somebody watched Mystery Men and was like, imagine we do it like that. We make them villains.
Yeah.
It's a good idea. Joe Beretta, that's his name. That was Joe Beretta earlier. I'm stopping it.
Yeah. I don't have an ad.
Did it stop, Trav?
Nope.
What is happening?
I paused it and rewound it.
All right, I'm going to play. 3, 2, 1, play. How'd you get out of sync with us?
I don't know, but I'm back in it.
Did it play?
Yeah.
This is all the TV clips.
Yeah.
Little TV spots. Hollow Earth, of course.
Oh shit, Kong's got to reclaim it.
Alpha male.
And Ozilla's gonna fucking help him.
Maybe. First, I got to fight a little bit, right?
I think they made up, right?
Oh.
I think they're homies, bro.
Yeah. They got a secret handshake now and everything.
I mean, dude, they abide by the bro code.
Rose before hose?
He's got the mech arm now. That's crazy.
He's slowly turning into Jax.
Here's my thing. I love that it's like, what a time to be a Godzilla fan, right?
Yeah. Right.
Kong, too.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I mean, yeah, we can't deny,
that
man. King Kong
was good.
King Kong has been given justice.
Finally. Look at you, Peter Jackson.
Yeah.
I mean, his romanticism version is good for what it is, but it ain't this shit.
He thought Jack Black was going to save it, but he did. Is it stopped for everyone, the movie?
Yeah. I mean, he did direct Dead Alive, but in the same breath, he did direct Dead Alive. Like,
this is the Kevin Costner thing that he left to do the whole Yellowstone. The reason he's not finishing, I guess. I don't know, but he went off to make this. Well, they get so many days to film with him, and he got mad because the dude had all these other projects going on. He wasn't worried about the one he was doing with him. He's like, dude, I fucking made the show.
Oh, dude. And apparently his wife is a pain in the ass, too. I mean, that's been, as far as the TMZ, Kevin Costner.
Oh.
I'm sure that factors. I'm sure it would have factored in,
like, dude,
whether it's relevant or not. But
he's had plenty of money from he had a great movie career, but this show kind of brought him back.
Yeah,
like he was gone. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's like what Pulp Fiction did for John Travolta.
Yeah,
it brought him back in a big way, and he's like, "Oh, I'm hot again. I want to make a movie."
Yeah, I'll make a movie, Mel Gibson.
But he wrote directed it, stars in it. Let's check it out.
Are we?
Period piece.
Are you tough enough?
It's got the look. Look at that mustache. Indians. Told you.
Don't run. Oh,
Y'all gonna die.
Yep, Left 4 Dead. But Back 4 Blood. No, I'm kidding.
It is Luke Wilson.
It's like, I'm trying to cross over to Appalachia.
I mean, to be fair, we did just show up and take their fucking land.
Yeah, right.
That's why they were mad. Damn, that mustache, man.
Mm-hmm.
How do you grow a mustache like he's like, I had 3 testosterone injections a week.
You don't want to know.
He looks like Pecos Bill. Where's the blue bull at?
Remember when, remember Tall Tale?
Yeah, yeah.
What a good movie.
Was it a blue bull or a purple bull?
It was a blue ox.
That motherfucker roped a tornado.
Yep.
He did.
And pulled it in to win. Oh.
It's the most fun you'll ever have watching Patrick Swayze. Don't mean to yell. I just realized that sounded like a shout.
It's going to be a good movie. That guy, he's one of those NPCs on Red Dead that hands out quests.
Yeah.
Use that thing much this year. 2-parter.
Hell yeah. It don't look bad at all.
He didn't fucking ride it.
He
didn't ride Dances with Wolves either.
I've got an ad, by the way.
We got a little Skarsgård. Y'all know he's playing the Crow?
Yes.
Okay, wow.
Yeah.
It's full on. Like I think he's going to do great.
Oh yeah, of course. He's familiar with face paint, you know?
Yeah.
He's had a couple.
I tried to get Marina to watch It, the first, chapter 1 or whatever, while we were staying at the Airbnb, and we made it through the first like 4 minutes of it. And then she was like, I can't. I was like, come on. She's like, I'm scared of
characters.
Well, I was like, I'm afraid of
it, you know?
Well, I'm afraid of heights, but that doesn't mean I'm not going to watch that movie where they're stuck on that antenna for 4.5 days. Yeah.
Well, it's called Fall.
It's like, I mean, it's on the nose, you know? So. But yeah, I've actually heard about this trailer, but I haven't watched it yet. So I'm excited about this.
Boy Kills World. Okay.
Michael Jackson jacket.
What?
There's some wild shit right here.
Is that John H. Benjamin?
Yeah.
This looks great.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, yes.
So he's not going to say a word.
Mm-mm.
That thing on his, it's a fist gun.
Yeah, it's like it's got shotgun shells in it, right?
Holy shit.
And dude, it's got our boy Shartol in it, dude.
Yeah.
The fuck's an eviction notice?
I'm down for that one.
Yeah, that looks amazing.
That dude looks like Asian Rob Pattinson.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I have watched
Oh,
this. Yeah.
here we go.
I'm actually excited about this, honestly.
Anybody got an ad?
Her. No, I'm
No.
good to go.
Good song choice too.
All I've heard is that people think this looks old. That people look old.
Lot of reshoots. Talking about it the other night, but old Eli Roth dude, he's hit and miss sometimes.
Yeah.
He misses more than he hits. But they want to like do a whole like universe.
Yeah.
It's piss wash. Oh, Bobby Lee made the trailer. Damn, she got that titty meat hanging out there, huh?
I know, right?
It really has that.
Suicide Squad.
And what's the other? Oh, Guardians. Yeah, Suicide Squad, Guardians. Like,
James Gunn is fuck.
yep. Hell yeah.
I mean, it don't look bad, you know?
Nah, don't look bad.
I mean, I'm not expecting much. You know what I mean?
I mean, it looks like a silly goose time.
Yeah. And the thing with Borderlands is like for the movie, the only thing that they have to do for it to be successful is like make it Mad Max as fuck.
Mm-hmm.
Make it completely over the top.
Over the top.
And fucking crude as shit. That's all they've got to do. and they're good. They're golden. So,
what kind of rating does it have? Does anybody know?
Not sure.
my Discord just got weird.
Not rated. Your Discord just got weird?
Yeah, I'm back in. We're good.
All right, we got the last one.
Yeah.
Mine's getting weird, huh? Ikwitsu Ocha. Let me guess. White Devil, White Devil. Your Swahili is very good, Ace.
Wait, space?
Mm-hmm.
I wish I knew
It's
what he
his
was
retelling of the funk.
saying.
It's about the family
But with
funk.
reverb and violence.
Yeah, with lots of violence.
I'll translate. That's the water in rock.
New Slipknot video looks crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Did you see that was the police? Look, look at that. The cops over there. Look at this guy. I knocked the dust off of it. Police brutality. They do that on purpose. They purposely distort the voice.
Yeah.
And put like I think it's just built into the culture too, because like the old movies sounded that way because of shitty sound.
Yeah.
And now they purposely do it. No, it sound too good. More distortion. This trailer's wild. I just saw the whole movie.
Happening. Yeah. Bima.
Is that the cop?
I don't know. I think it's Aquaman.
They're happy about them views too. They're like, all right, I have it pulled up over here. I saved it because Jigoku. Trav guys picking last week before we got offline. Jigoku 1960s. Jigoku translates Japanese word hell. English title, The Sinners of Hell.
Is this black and white?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I think I've seen some stuff about this, but I haven't watched it.
It was very hard to find.
Very hard. I can imagine.
It's in the Criterion Collection. Oh, I had to get on a pirate ship to get it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. But they're saying that this is like supposed to be like revolutionary, right?
For
One
its
of those
time,
types.
yeah.
Yeah. So I'm down with that.
That's it. Jigoku.
I'm excited to peep it.
Titles. All right. Well, checks on the mail.
And the flag is raised.